get ready for a quick quest guide for the Icthlarin's Little Helper quest, in which the main rewards for completing are access to Sophanem, unlocking carpet rides from Pollnivneach to Sophanem and Menaphos, a Catspeak Amulet, 4,500 Thieving, 4,000 Agility, and 4,000 Woodcutting experience, and 2 quest points. You'll need to have completed Gertrude's cat before taking on this quest, and while there are no skill requirements, having 40 Agility is recommended, as is having 50 combat to defeat a couple of enemies between level 75 and 91. Having 43 prayer is also helpful, but not essential. When it comes to items, you'll need any kitten or cat, which can be at any life stage. However, note that a toy or clockwork cat won't work. You'll also want some linen, or alternatively 30 coins, 2 full waterskins, a tinderbox, 1 willow logs, a bag of salt that can be purchased on the GE or from any Slayer Master, and additionally a bucket of sap, which if not using the GE can be obtained by using a knife on pointy regular trees with an empty bucket in your inventory. Then in terms of recommended items, you'll want desert robes and boots to help with the desert heat, as well as weight reducing clothing to help with the running around. You'll also want a weapon, preferably a ranged or slash weapon if using melee. On top of this, it's helpful to have some armor that works against both melee and magic, such as dragonhide, and additionally 8 to 10 pieces of high healing food to defeat a level 91 possessed priest that attacks with magic, as well as a randomly assigned guardian that's either level 75 or 81 and which attacks with either magic or melee. The food will also be helpful for running past some high-level mummies and scarabs that can poison you. You'll also want 1 anti-poison or super anti-poison potion and 2 stamina potions to help keep your run energy nice and high. Also consider bringing along a prayer potion if you have access to protection prayers. Finally, you'll want a method of getting to the quest start southwest of Nada. For this, I'd recommend a Nada teleport scroll. These are expensive currently at around 30k a pop, but considering how Nada is a bit of a punish to get to otherwise, I really do think that they're worth it. If you're not using a Nada teleport, then you'll want an extra 500 coins and a Shantae pass. You'll also want to teleport to anywhere for after you finish the quest. Now you can begin this quest at the small campsite located south of Pollnivneach, which you can easily get to by using a Nada teleport scroll and running southwest. If you wanted to save some money, then you can alternatively pay 200 coins to take a magic carpet ride from the Shantae Pass to Pollnivneach before running south from there to the small camp. Once you're at the quest start, firstly note the northeastern rock, which will soon become a secret way into Sophanem should you leave the city mid-quest. Then when you're ready to begin, drop your cat so that it's following you, and then talk to the wanderer nearby the tent, who hates your cat and shows you a secret path into Sophanem in exchange for you picking it up. Eventually select yes to officially start the Icthlarin's Little Helper quest, and provided you have a tinderbox and full waterskin on you, then after some more chat this will see the screen go black and you wake in Sophanem. Directly south will be a pyramid, and you'll want to select to open the door to it to enter inside, and you'll also appear to be a little brainwashed. Next, pop on Protect from Meelee if you have access to it, and then use your minimap to make your way through the pyramid. By using your minimap, you'll automatically dodge the traps inside, and you'll want to follow the winding path until you reach a large pit, drinking a sip of your anti-poison potion if you become poisoned along the way. After reaching the pit, ensure that you have at least 20% run energy and then select to jump across the pit. If you fail, then you'll come back into the pyramid through a side door and you'll need to run back to the pit and try again. Keep trying to cross the pit until you make it over. After you're across, head west and try to open the door, which brings up a puzzle. Firstly, continue clicking on the bird to the right to reset the puzzle until you have a configuration whereby you have a 3x3 empty cube in the top left. I got pretty lucky, but know that this can take quite a few puzzle resets. Then click in the middle of the 3x3 cube and afterwards click the top right empty cube, which will leave you with 6 empty squares. Next, click the most right cube in the middle row of the empty squares to solve the puzzle, which will see you exit the pyramid and realize that you were hypnotized by the wanderer. Next, drop your cat and then talk to the Sphinx that's just northeast and continue through a decent chat before saying, "Okay, that sounds fair." And following this, be very careful to answer correctly or else you'll lose your cat. and you'll want to select 9, before then adding totally positive and continuing through the rest of the chat to be given a token. Token in hand, you'll want to then head southwest to the building with an altar, and inside it you'll find a high priest. Talk to the high priest and go through the chat to realize he's kind of struggling with everything, and that cats provide protection against the demigoddess the Devourer. Once chat options appear, exit the chat and pray at the altar north to restore your prayer points. And once that's done, exit out of the building and run northeast back to the pyramid entrance before entering it. Now select to examine your canopic jar that will be in your inventory and read the game message to see who you'll need to fight. If the jar is shaped like a bug or a man, then you'll need to fight an enemy that uses Meelee. And if it's shaped like a crocodile or an ape, then you'll need to fight an enemy that uses magic. Now once again you'll need to run through the pyramid, using the minimap to pass through it so as to avoid the traps. Make your way to the pit and then jump over it, which will kick off another hypnotized moment. Now open the door directly to your south, and inside the room to your east will be 4 canopic jars. Make sure you're ready for a fight and then take the canopic jar that matches your examined lid shape. Or if you've forgotten, then just attempt to take the jars until an enemy appears, as you'll only be able to take your jar. Once the enemy pops out, simply defeat them, praying protect from magic or protect from Meelee as required depending on the enemy you're presented with. And after you've defeated them, take their canopic jar. Jar in hand, exit the room before going east and jumping the pit, which sees you snap from your hypnosis. And now ensure you've got at least 20% run energy and jump back over the pit, hoping that you don't fail. Of course, if you do, then you'll need to run back and try again. After you're across, return back west to the door and select to open it, and you'll now have to solve the same puzzle from before. Once again, continually click the bird on the right to reset the puzzle until you have a configuration whereby you have a 3x3 empty cube in the top left. Then click in the middle of the 3x3 cube, and afterwards click the top right empty cube, which will leave you with 6 empty squares. Finally, click the most right cube in the middle row of the empty squares to solve the puzzle and head through the door. After you're inside, head to the tile where you took the canopic jar and then drop the jar from your inventory to return it. Afterwards, exit the room before going a little east, and with at least 20 run energy, you'll want to jump back across the pit before then retracing your steps to the start of the pyramid. Remember to use the minimap to path your way there and thus automatically avoid the traps. Once you're at the start, climb up the ladder to exit the pyramid and then run southwest back to the building with the altar and the high priest. Pray at the altar to restore your prayer points, and afterwards talk to the high priest, whereby you'll agree to help with a ceremony to let Clenta rest. And when the chat finishes, head out of the building and into the small house directly south before talking to the embalmer near its entrance. Go through the chat and you'll hand the embalmer your bucket of sap, your bag of salt, and your linen if you have it. If you brought coins instead of linen, then after the chat finishes, run northeast, and just east of the Sphinx you'll find a man named Raytool. Talk to Raytool and go through the chat, which will see you purchase a piece of linen for 30 coins. Linen obtained, head southwest back to the embalmer and chat to him to hand over the linen. Once this is done, run a little northeast, whereby you'll find a carpenter in the building east of the pyramid. Talk to the carpenter, and after going through the chat, he'll turn your willow logs into a holy symbol. It's now time to head back into the pyramid once again. Go northwest, and after arriving, open the door to enter into it before picking up your cat. You know the drill by now. Use the minimap to run through the pyramid all the way to the pit at the end before ensuring you have at least 20 run energy and selecting to jump across the pit, which will again see you enter into a hypnotized state. This time head east before opening the door to enter into the room. Once inside, use your unholy symbol on one of the sarcophaguses along the wall, prompting the hypnotized state to end and you to end up back on the other side of the pit. Make sure that you have 20 run energy and jump across the pit again, and after arriving on the other side, go east. Before entering into the room, make sure that you're ready for a fight with a level 91 priest that attacks with magic, and then choose to open the door. This sparks a cutscene whereby the Wanderer appears in the middle of the ceremony, reveals themselves as the Devourer, and possesses a priest. You'll now need to defeat the level 91 priest, which isn't too tricky. However, praying protect from magic Tithe will make it even easier. The Priest's max hit is only 6 though, and in terms of melee he's weakest against Slash. After the possessed priest has been defeated, talk to the High Priest and go through the dialogue whereby he thanks you. Afterwards, exit the room, which sparks one final cutscene with Icthlarin, whereby you realise that he was the one that broke you free from the Devourer's hypnotic control. Afterwards, you'll end up outside the pyramid and you'll simply want to run southwest back to the High Priest. Chat to the High Priest before BAM! Quest complete. You'll be awarded a Catspeak Amulet, access to Sophanem, and you'll unlock magic carpet rides from Pollnivneach to Sophanem and Menaphos. You'll also gain 4,500 thieving, 4,000 agility, and 4,000 woodcutting experience, as well as 2 quest points. Thanks so much for watching, catch you in the next quest!